Creating a template for a typical week in the current semester is a useful time management strategy for students. This process allows you to identify specific blocks of study time that fit with your other commitments. Students new to university find that although they appear to have a lot of free time in their schedule, assignments and exams creep up on them without them being adequately prepared. Spending the time to create a master weekly schedule will help you create a balanced study routine and find time for other activities like fitness, leisure, and social time. One essential question to ask yourself before you get started is, how much time should I be studying each week? This depends on how many courses you're taking. Each week, you want to be spending 2 to 3 hours per class credit studying. This includes reading, working on assignments, essays, and labs, as well as reviewing for exams. If you're taking one class or 3 credits, you should be studying for 6 to 9 hours each week. If you're taking 4 courses, this means you should be studying between 24 and 36 hours each week. Let's look at a template for a typical week in the semester. First, let's fill in fixed blocks of time for classes, tutorial, or lab times. Also include work and volunteer shifts. Then blank out typical daily activities like sleeping, eating, and getting ready for the day, or any regular meetings you might have. At this point, fill in anything that isn't flexible that you do every week at the same time. Once this is all in place, you can pencil in study time. In this case, if you're taking 4 courses, you'll need to find between 24 and 36 hours per week to study. Remember, study time includes time you spend outside of class and lab times doing writing, readings, preparing for class and exams, reviewing, and working on assignments. How much time you set aside for studying is important, but it's also important to think about when you study. The curve of forgetting illustrates why our memory and understanding is best with regular review and practice over time. As you can see, our retention of information improves each time we recall and study the information over the course of the semester. This is why it's so important to set aside some time within 24 hours of class to review your lecture notes and readings. On a weekly basis, if you can review the main subjects that have been covered so far in the term, you will be setting yourself up for success on your exams. For each course, block off some time in the 24-hour period before the class and the 24-hour period following the class for prep and review time. Rather than studying all day on Saturday, you're better off studying throughout the week. So plan to have frequent short blocks of study time in your schedule, instead of 1 or 2 marathon study sessions. It's generally more effective to have several focused blocks each week. Make good use of small pockets of time in between other activities. For example, while on the bus or waiting for friends, preview a reading or assignment, or finish 1 or 2 practice questions, or just review your notes. Identify a few contingency study blocks for unexpected time crunches. Schedule in other responsibilities like errands and chores. And finish off your schedule by identifying time each week for maintaining balance in your life, such as fitness, leisure, social, and family time. Leisure time is important, so it's good to make sure that you set aside some time for a break from your schoolwork. One last word of advice about creating a study schedule. Be realistic. It's important to be flexible with your schedule and not to micromanage your time. Scheduling down to every minute of the day will be impossible to follow. Plan to study at the times of day that you know you will be productive. For example, don't expect yourself to get up at 7 a.m. and start studying right away unless you're a morning person. Similarly, if you're coming home after a full day of work, you probably don't want to plan to do readings for 2 hours. Be realistic and set yourself up for success with a clear study schedule.